Ultimately, he still died in her hands. As he fed her medicine, he took a mouthful by mistake and was poisoned to death. It was only that he knew that she had a death wish. All these years, every single meal that she had ate had been poisoned. She had consumed the antidote beforehand. However, her body had been ravaged by the countless types of queer poisons. She awaited his moment of carelessness, such that he would die. The Liang Emperor died in the hands of the woman he loved most. Despite having guarded against her all his life, he was no match for her persistence and patience. However, he could not bear to kill her, leaving a final decree to chase her out of the palace, never to step in again. The outsiders only knew about the deep love between the king and his queen. They did not know that the emperor had just wanted to protect his only son before he died. Alas, this secret was still made known to Zhan Ziyu by his sister. After Zhan Ziming's failed assassination attempt on Xiaosa, he brought Empress Dowager out of the temple and sneaked her into the palace, using her to kill Xiaosa and the Liang Empire's moment of prosperity. Empress Dowager Yao had also committed suicide after hearing of Xiaoqi's death. Chu Xiao did not know how she felt back then. Was it a feeling of elation and closure, having finally exacted her revenge? Or was it a feeling of helplessness and remorse, having made a huge mistake? She was a stubborn and extreme woman. Because of the events that happened back then, she killed the two men that loved her most in the world. Up until her last breath, would she still laugh at having finally attained some closure? Perhaps not. After all, when she avenged her husband and son, she killed another husband and son. For a feud, she ruined another woman's life. After the death of Empress Dowager Yao, she was buried with the Shizong Emperor on Meishan. Back then, when they were alive, they constantly despised each other. They fought, plotted, and tried to assassinate each other, becoming entangled in a web of resentment all their lives. Ultimately, they were reunited in the cold imperial mausoleum with only each other as company for the rest of eternity, never to be separated again. Chu Xiao did not know what happened back then. Not did she understand why one's feelings of hate could cause someone to be so scary. However, she thought to herself that sometimes Empress Dowager Yao still had some feelings of motherly love for Xiaoqi. She still remembered that sunny afternoon when that old lady said to her as she frowned, "He fools around in the palace all day. If you're free, please dissuade him. After all, he's the crown prince of Liang. He cannot be so playful anymore." Ultimately, with the death of the king of Luo, the last remnants of love were extinguished. She had been consumed by the demons in her heart, paying the price by losing her life. The sound of something rustling started to echo out. The window was pushed open slightly by the wind, causing the curtains to sway and waking Chu Xiao up from her state of deep thought. She turned around to see that Yuwen Yue had woken up and was leaning by the side of the bed. He was dressed in white and looked rejuvenated, the usual cold expression on his face replaced by that of peace and warmth. As he saw her turn around, he waved his hand to signal her to come towards him. She walked over and poured a cup of tea for him as she asked, "Did you sleep well?" "Yes," he replied as he took a sip of tea. "If someone didn't sneak into my room to sigh, I would have slept better." Chu Xiao blushed as she looked up at him. "Are you hungry?" He nodded and said, "A little just now." "I'm much better now." Chu Xiao stood up and remarked, "You've been asleep for 1 day and 1 night. Of course you're hungry. I told the kitchen to prepare some food for you." "No need." Yuwen Yue reached out his hand to hold her hand, guiding her to sit down beside him on the bed. Keep me company for a little while." Chu Xiao smiled as she obliged. "You've been in a daze for a long time. What were you thinking about just now?" Yuwen Yue held her hand and said naturally. Chu Xiao shook her head and replied, "Some old things that are not important."